Do you know anyone who can't stay focused no matter how hard they try? Someone who sits down to work, but their mind jumps from thought to thought like a bird trapped in a room. They want discipline. They want clarity. They want to stay locked in on their goals. Yet every distraction pulls them apart piece by piece. Maybe they make plans. Maybe they start strong. But a few days later, their mind is scattered again, overwhelmed, frustrated, wondering why staying focused feels impossible. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they lack ambition. They're fighting their battles with the wrong strategy. But in ancient China, one man mastered the art of mental clarity through warfare itself. His name was Sun Tzu. And the principles inside the art of war contain a system for building unstoppable focus. A system that teaches you how to defeat distraction the same way generals defeated armies. Before we explore this powerful method, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share the one thing you struggle to focus on the most. Now let me tell you a story of a man who couldn't control his mind until he learned to fight his inner battles like a strategist. Chapter 1. The First Enemy. The Chaotic Mind. The mind doesn't collapse all at once. It falls apart slowly, quietly. One distraction here, one lost moment of focus there. And before you realize it, your attention is no longer yours. That's exactly what happened to Wei. Wei wasn't a failure. He wasn't weak. He wasn't lazy. He was simply overwhelmed by work, by pressure, by responsibility, by the silent noise inside his own head. Every morning, he woke up with determination. Today would be different. Today he would stay focused, complete his tasks, and move one step closer to the life he wanted. But then his phone buzzed. Then an email appeared. Then stress crept in. And slowly, the day slipped through his fingers. Hours passed, but nothing meaningful was done. Wei felt scattered, frustrated, guilty. And, at night, staring at the ceiling, he wondered the same question so many people ask. Why can't I control my mind? He tried motivation videos. He tried productivity hacks. He tried strict routines. But everything collapsed under the weight of his own thoughts. Wei wasn't battling laziness. He was battling chaos, an enemy far more dangerous than fatigue or distraction. And this is where Sun Tzu enters the story. One evening, after a long day of feeling unfocused, Wei found an old copy of The Art of War at a street market. It wasn't planned. He wasn't searching for solutions. But something about the worn, brown pages pulled him in. He bought the book, took it home, opened it, and one line struck him like a blade. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Wei felt a shift, a small one, but enough to stir something inside him. This, he thought, is my problem. I don't know my enemy, and I definitely don't know myself. Wei always assumed his enemy was distraction. But Sun Tzu made him rethink everything. Maybe distraction wasn't the enemy. Maybe it was only the weapon. The real enemy was the chaotic mind, a mind with no clarity, no strategy, no boundaries, no direction. And Sun Tzu would teach him how to defeat it. The next morning, Wei woke early. He sat on the edge of his bed, eyes tired, mind buzzing. But he opened The Art of War and tried to read it the way a general reads a battlefield. Sun Tzu wrote, "The worst position a soldier can face is confusion. Clarity determines victory." Wei realized something crucial. He had been living like a soldier walking into battle with no map. He expected himself to focus, but he gave himself no structure, no strategy, no plan of attack. His mind was reacting, not leading, responding, not commanding, drifting, not directing. And the more he thought about it, the clearer the truth became. The chaotic mind isn't a weakness. It's an untrained army. And Sun Tzu's system was a manual for training it. Wei decided to observe his mind the way Sun Tzu observed terrain. He didn't try to change anything yet. He simply watched. And what he saw shocked him. He wasn't losing focus because tasks were hard. He was losing focus because his mind was scattered across 10 different front lines at once. Unfinished responsibilities, worries about the future, old regrets, a constant stream of what-ifs. It was like trying to fight a war on all sides without ever knowing which side mattered most. Sun Tzu warned about this exact problem. He who defends everything defends nothing. Wei began to see how deeply this applied to his mind. Every day, he tried to focus on everything: work, health, family, money, personal goals, daily tasks, long-term dreams. But defending everything meant defending nothing. This was the first enemy. Not fear, not procrastination, not laziness. It was mental overload. Too many battles, too many fronts, too many directions. The mind collapses not from weakness, but from trying to fight every battle at once. Wei needed clarity, but clarity doesn't appear by force. You don't command the mind to calm down. You guide it. You give it shape. You give it direction. Sun Tzu wrote, "Victorious warriors win first, then go to war." Wei reread that line many times. It didn't make sense at first. How do you win before you fight? But slowly, the meaning came into focus. You win by preparing the mind before entering the day. Wei realized that his real battle wasn't happening at work. It wasn't happening on his phone. It wasn't happening in his environment. His real battle happened in the first moments of the morning, before distraction even arrived, before stress appeared, before the world demanded anything from him. If he didn't gain control of those first moments, the rest of the day would always collapse. And so, the next morning, he did something different. He didn't grab his phone. He didn't rush. He didn't let thoughts pull him in 10 directions. He sat, still, quiet, not meditating, not forcing calm, just observing. And for the first time, he noticed how loud his mind really was. This was the battlefield. This was where the war began. This was where focus would either be won or lost. Wei asked himself a question inspired by Sun Tzu. What is the single battle I must win today? Not 10, not 5, just one. He wrote it down. Something shifted immediately. The chaos didn't disappear, but it softened, like a storm beginning to break. By choosing one battle, he eliminated 1,000 unnecessary ones. Sun Tzu called this strategic concentration. Wei called it breathing room. He felt something he hadn't felt in years, a sense of control. Over the next few days, he kept refining the process. He woke early, sat in silence, observed his thoughts without judgment, and each day he chose one meaningful target. Not a list, not a schedule, not a plan that collapses under stress. Just one goal worth fighting for. And slowly, the chaotic mind began to settle. Not through effort, not through pressure, but through strategy. Wei realized something powerful. The mind becomes chaotic when it tries to hold everything, but it becomes focused when it is given only what matters. This was Sun Tzu's first lesson, the foundation of unstoppable focus. You cannot conquer the day until you conquer the chaos inside your own mind. And for the first time in a long time, Wei felt ready. Not to finish everything, not to achieve everything, not to change his life overnight, but to win the battle in front of him, the one that mattered, the one he chose, and the war for focus. The real war began here. Chapter 2, Sun Tzu's Law of Mental Territory. If Chapter 1 was about the chaos inside your head, then Chapter 2 is about something far more important. It's about the invisible battlefield where that chaos actually lives. Sun Tzu had a simple rule. If you control the territory, you control the outcome. Most people think the art of war is about armies and weapons, but it isn't. It's about space. Not physical land, but mental terrain. The invisible ground where your habits, focus, fears, and decisions fight every day. And the truth is painful. Your mind is not losing the war because you're weak. It's losing because you're fighting on enemy territory. So let's walk through the real meaning of territory and why your focus keeps collapsing even when your intentions are pure. The terrain shapes the warrior. Sun Tzu wrote that a wise general studies the land first. He understands its shape, its traps, its choke points, and its advantages. Only then does he move. We do the opposite. We rush into our day blind. You wake up, grab your phone, open notifications, scroll for a few minutes that turn into 15. Before your mind takes its first breath, it's already invaded. That is enemy territory. Not because phones are evil, but because you're standing in a mental landscape built for distraction. Then you blame yourself for being unfocused. Sun Tzu would laugh gently and say, "No soldier wins in unfamiliar terrain." He's right. You're not losing because you're lazy. You're losing because your battlefield is arranged for defeat. The law of mental territory. This law is simple. Where your attention lives becomes the land that controls you. If your territory is cluttered, loud, and reactive, your mind becomes the same. If your territory is calm, intentional, and clear, your mind follows. People think discipline comes from willpower. Sun Tzu knew better. Discipline comes from environment, because environment shapes behavior more than motivation ever will. Think of your mind like a warrior. Even the strongest warrior becomes helpless if the ground beneath him turns to mud. That's what digital chaos, constant noise, multitasking, and emotional clutter do to you. They make the ground beneath you unstable. The truth is this: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your terrain, neutralizing the noise. Sun Tzu never attacked a stronghold head-on. He weakened its defenses first. Your mental chaos works the same way. You don't fight the noise. You remove its power, not by force, but by strategy. Here's how Sun Tzu would break it down. 1. Identify the invading forces. Your mind isn't chaotic by accident. Something is invading it. It might be notifications, constant background stress, lingering emotional conflicts, unfinished tasks, overcommitment, digital triggers. Sun Tzu would say, the first step to reclaiming territory is knowing who occupies it. 2. Clear the battlefield. Focus needs open space. Right now your mind is packed with commitments, thoughts, fears, and unresolved decisions. They're not just distractions, they're troops on the field. You don't win by adding more. You win by subtracting. 1 quiet hour, 1 clean desk, 1 clear intention, 1 priority. Sun Tzu called this empty space, and he believed it was a strategic weapon. 3. Reduce the number of fronts. Most people fight 12 battles at once. Trying to be productive, trying to heal emotionally, trying to keep up with everything, trying to move forward in life, trying to solve problems that aren't even real yet. Sun Tzu warned against dividing forces. No army succeeds when it is scattered. Your focus is not weak. It's just pulled in too many directions. Choosing your ground. One of Sun Tzu's strongest ideas is favorable ground, a place where the warrior has the advantage. You need a mental version of that. Everyone has a place where their mind becomes sharper. Maybe it's early morning, before the world wakes up. Maybe it's late at night, when everything becomes still. Maybe it's a quiet room, a certain chair, or a certain notebook. Maybe it's a walk outside. These are more than preferences. They are strategic positions. When you work in your favorable ground, focus comes naturally. You don't fight your mind. Your mind aligns with the land. This is why Sun Tzu said, victorious warriors win first, then go to war. Choose the right ground before you act, and the battle is already won. The collapse of the boundary. There's another problem Sun Tzu would point out. Most people don't have boundaries between mental spaces anymore. Work bleeds into rest. Rest bleeds into scrolling. Scrolling bleeds into anxiety. Anxiety bleeds into avoidance. Avoidance bleeds into guilt. Guilt bleeds into another attempt at productivity. The day has no shape. The territory has no walls. Everything leaks. Sun Tzu believed this was fatal. A warrior without boundaries loses formation. A mind without boundaries loses clarity. This chapter is about rebuilding the edges of your mental world. Not as rigid walls, but as clear lines. Lines that tell your mind, this is where work lives. This is where rest lives. This is where focus breathes. This is where I recover. This is where fear does not enter. The moment you rebuild these lines, your mind gains strength. The power of the single command. Sun Tzu never issued 10 orders at once. He issued one, clear, simple, non-negotiable, because a single clear command is stronger than 1,000 vague intentions. Most people overwhelm themselves with lists, goals, systems, and routines. They drown in the complexity of trying to change everything at once. Sun Tzu would say, one order, one move, one victory at a time. So choose one command for your day. It could be, write for 30 minutes. Walk for 15. No phone until noon. Finish one task completely. Clean one small area of your space. Whatever it is, it becomes the anchor that stabilizes your territory. Once the territory stabilizes, your focus strengthens. Once focus strengthens, identity shifts. Once identity shifts, the war changes. Your mind is the kingdom. Sun Tzu's teachings aren't about violence. They are about stewardship. He believed that a leader's first duty was to protect the land, not expand it, not conquer for glory, not win every battle, but protect what matters. Your mind is that kingdom. Your focus is its capital. Your habits are its cities. Your emotions are its people. Your attention is its currency. And your discipline is its army. If you don't guard it, someone else will occupy it. If you don't shape it, something else will shape it. If you don't choose your battles, your mind will be dragged into battles it never wanted to fight. When Sun Tzu teaches territory, he's not talking about mountains or rivers. He's talking about the inner world you live in every day, the world nobody else sees, the world that decides everything, reclaiming the inner land. This chapter ends with a simple truth. Focus begins the moment you reclaim your mental territory. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need superhuman discipline. You don't need motivation that lasts forever. You just need to take back the ground you lost. One boundary, one intention, one quiet moment, one clean space, one choice that leads to another. Slow, steady, intentional. Just like Sun Tzu would want. Chapter 3. The Art of Tactical Stillness. There's a moment in every war where the commander stops everything. No marching, no charging, no noise, no movement, just stillness. Not because the army is weak, but because the next step will decide everything. Sun Tzu wrote that before any decisive action, a general must enter a state of emptiness. A pause that is not passive, but powerful. A silence that is not absence, but preparation. Most people fear stillness because they confuse it with doing nothing. But in the art of war, stillness is a weapon. A strategic pause that creates clarity, resets judgment, and reveals what the chaos tried to hide. And this is where the next part of your transformation begins. Learning how to stop in a way that strengthens you instead of breaking you. Stillness is not a retreat. Modern life has trained you to stay busy, always acting, always responding, always moving. If you slow down, guilt appears. If you stop, anxiety fills the space. If you rest, your mind whispers that you're falling behind. But Sun Tzu saw things differently. He believed that frantic action without direction is the fastest path to defeat. A warrior who moves without awareness becomes predictable, sloppy, and vulnerable. In his philosophy, the strongest point of a soldier is not his sword. It's his clarity. And clarity is born in stillness. Stillness is not retreat. It's reconnaissance. It's the act of studying the battlefield before stepping into it. It's the mental reset that prevents emotional decisions. It's the breathing space that realigns you with your purpose. Every commander who wins knows how to pause. Every mind that breaks usually forgets how. The mind without stillness becomes a storm. In Chapter 1, we talked about the chaotic mind. But chaos grows when there is no quiet place inside you. Imagine a battlefield where the dust never settles. Archers can't aim. Soldiers can't see. Orders can't be heard. No one knows what's happening. That's what your inner world becomes when you never pause. Your thoughts run into each other. Your attention splits. Your emotions sharpen and collide. Your instincts get distorted. Without stillness, your mind becomes a storm that never stops spinning. This is why even small tasks feel overwhelming. This is why you can't decide. This is why you feel tired even when your body is rested. This is why you jump between projects, ideas, and goals without finishing. Not because you lack intelligence or discipline, because you lack stillness. Sun Tzu would say, "A mind in chaos cannot recognize opportunity." The power of tactical stillness. Tactical stillness is not meditation. It's not spiritual. It's not abstract. It is the deliberate pause before the next strategic move. Think of it as three things. 1. A reset. You stop the mental momentum before it pulls you into reactions you don't want. 2. A recalibration. You ask yourself what the next best move truly is. 3. A moment to regain power. You reclaim control from your impulses, fears, and external noise. Sun Tzu believed that a general must see the entire war, not just the current fight. Stillness is what allows him to step back far enough to see the bigger picture. This is what you need now. A pause that shows you the whole map again. The hidden skill you've never been taught. Most people think focus is about effort. But effort means nothing if it's pointed in the wrong direction. Stillness is how you check your aim. It's the moment you ask, what truly matters today? What is the single task that will change the trajectory? What am I about to do out of fear instead of strategy? What noise am I letting into my mental territory? Sun Tzu would say that a commander who does not pause before planning walks blindly into traps. In your life, the traps are subtle. Unnecessary commitments, digital distractions, emotional reactions, impulsive decisions, tasks that don't matter, people who drain your energy, habits that steal your time. You avoid them not by working harder, but by stopping long enough to see them. Stillness gives you that vision, the quiet that reveals the truth. There is a truth most people hide from themselves. When you're always busy, you never have to face what's really going on. That's why people stay in motion. Motion distracts. Motion numbs. Motion hides the fear that if they stop, they might have to confront the life they've built. Tactical stillness removes the hiding place. In the quiet, you notice which goals aren't yours, which habits are killing your focus, which relationships drain your strength, which fears you've been avoiding, which dreams you keep postponing, which identity no longer fits the person you want to become. This is why stillness feels uncomfortable at first. It's not the silence that hurts. It's the truth it reveals. But once you see the truth, you finally know what needs to change. And that is the beginning of real power. The warrior's breath. Sun Tzu believed that calmness was not natural. It was trained, developed, sharpened like steel. He compared the calm mind to a deep mountain lake. Even when the surface ripples, the depths remain still. You can build this, not through long meditation sessions, not through perfect routines, but through small moments of intentional pause. Just 3 breaths, just 1 quiet minute, just 1 moment of stillness before you act. That single pause becomes a wedge that stops the storm from taking over. It separates instinct from impulse. It gives you time to choose instead of react. This is tactical stillness, the skill that turns chaos into clarity, the art of moving after stillness. Sun Tzu warned that stillness without action becomes stagnation. You don't pause forever. You pause to strike with precision. When the dust settles, you see the target clearly. You know what matters. You know what doesn't. And when you move again, your movement becomes sharp, clean, and decisive. No wasted energy. No scattered effort. No drifting. Just 1 strong, deliberate step. It is better to take 1 precise action after stillness than 100 chaotic moves done in panic. This is how stillness becomes a weapon. You stop to regain control. You regain control to choose. You choose to strike. You strike with clarity, the quiet that strengthens you. Tactical stillness teaches you something surprising. You are not trapped by your thoughts. You are not controlled by the chaos. You are not doomed to distraction forever. You simply need to pause long enough to reclaim your mental world. Every time you stop intentionally, you weaken the grip of distraction. Every time you breathe before reacting, you sharpen your discipline. Every time you step back, the battlefield becomes clear. Stillness is the beginning of strategy. Stillness is the beginning of mastery. Stillness is the beginning of the new version of you. The quieter you become, the stronger you get. Sun Tzu knew this. Now you do too. Chapter 4, Forging the Warrior Mind. Turning discipline into instinct. There's a moment in every transformation where discipline stops being something you force yourself to do and becomes something you are. Sun Tzu understood this deeply. He believed that the strongest warrior is not the one who fights hardest, but the one whose mind has been trained so well that discipline becomes instinct. Action becomes natural. Focus becomes automatic. Clarity becomes the default state. But the path to this level of mastery is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's a slow forging process, like steel shaped in fire, like a blade tempered through heat, pressure, and patience. This chapter is about the moment when your mind begins to shift, when discipline stops feeling like a burden and begins to feel like identity. The mind must be forged, not forced. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's about willpower. They think it's about pushing harder, forcing themselves, grinding until they break. But willpower is temporary. Willpower burns out. Willpower collapses under stress, fear, and exhaustion. Sun Tzu knew this, even in ancient China. He wrote that forcing an army leads to rebellion. Forcing a soldier leads to panic. Forcing a mind leads to chaos. The key is not forcing discipline. The key is forging it. Forging is slow. Forging is repetitive. Forging happens through tiny actions done consistently, not massive decisions made once. Discipline becomes instinct when it is shaped, not demanded. Practiced, not pushed. Integrated, not imposed. The shift from effort to identity. In every warrior's path, there is a turning point. A moment when the habits they once struggled with suddenly become natural. Before the shift, discipline feels like lifting a heavy boulder. After the shift, discipline feels like walking downhill. This is the moment when you stop saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," and start saying, "This is simply what I do." Sun Tzu believed that true power appears when the mind becomes predictable to itself. When your actions align with your intention. When your choices match your direction. This is identity-based discipline, the deepest kind. The kind that sticks even when life becomes chaotic. And this shift only happens through repetition. Steady, focused repetition that gradually rewires the mind. The warrior's rituals. Every warrior in history had rituals. Not for motivation, not for excitement, but for stability. A general wakes before dawn, studies the terrain, reviews the plan. A swordsman sharpens his blade, stretches his hands, breathes deeply before training. A monk sweeps the temple floor before meditation. These simple acts are not accessories. They are anchors. Sun Tzu believed that rituals strengthen discipline because they create rhythm. And rhythm trains the mind to move with stability, not emotion. When your life has rhythm, chaos loses its power. This is how warriors turn discipline into instinct. Same morning routine. Same starting ritual before work. Same pause before decisions. Same way of preparing the mind. Same way of closing the day. These rituals build a mental structure. And inside that structure, discipline grows naturally, not through force, through familiarity. The mind obeys what it recognizes, removing the choices that break you. Sun Tzu knew that the easiest way to control the mind was to reduce unnecessary decisions. He warned that too many choices lead to confusion, and confusion leads to defeat. The modern world overwhelms you with choices. What to eat, when to work, what to focus on, which notifications to check, which priorities matter today, where to put your energy. Every choice burns a little mental fuel. Every distraction drains your power. Every decision steals focus. Warriors remove this burden. They simplify. They cut away what doesn't matter. They reduce the number of decisions they need to make every day. Not because they're boring, because they're strategic. You can't fight a war if you're tired before the battle begins. Discipline becomes instinct when your environment supports it. When your life is structured so that the right action is the easiest action, not the hardest. Training under pressure. Forging happens through stress, but not the kind people think. Sun Tzu said a warrior must train under realistic pressure, not overwhelming chaos, but enough challenge to sharpen the mind. This means showing up even when you're tired, practicing focus even when your thoughts wander, continuing your routine even when motivation disappears. These moments are not failures. They are training. Every time you do the right thing under mild stress, discipline becomes stronger. It becomes more stable, more durable, more instinctive. Warriors don't train for when life is perfect. They train for when life isn't. That's how instinct is built. Discipline through friction control. Most people think they fail because they lack discipline. But the truth is simpler. They fail because their environment has too much friction for good habits and not enough friction for bad ones. Sun Tzu would never attack through a swamp. He would never march his army across terrain that slows them. He always chose the path of strategic advantage. Your habits should work the same way. Remove friction from the habits you want. Prepare your workspace. Reduce clutter. Set clear starting points. Keep the tools visible. Create a simple entry ritual. Add friction to the habits you want to eliminate. Block notifications. Move distracting apps. Change your environment at key times. Create distance from triggers. This is not willpower. This is strategy. And strategy always wins. The warrior mind is built through repetition. There is no shortcut, no dramatic breakthrough, no sudden transformation. Warriors are built in the repetition. Every day you follow your ritual, the mind gets sharper. Every day you simplify your choices, discipline becomes easier. Every day you apply tactical stillness, clarity grows. Every day you take one focused action, your identity strengthens. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how steel is forged. Do something once, it's an effort. Do it 10 times, it's a habit. Do it 100 times, it becomes instinct. Do it 1,000 times, and it becomes who you are. Sun Tzu understood that victory belongs to the side that prepares longest, not the side that acts most dramatically. Your mind is being shaped the same way, slowly, steadily, silently, until one day you wake up, and discipline is not something you chase. It's something you live, the birth of the warrior within. As you continue this path, something inside you begins to shift. The noise in your mind softens. The excuses lose their strength. The mental storms become less violent. Your emotions no longer control your decisions. Your focus sharpens. Your actions become deliberate. Your days become structured. Your purpose becomes clearer. This is the birth of the warrior mind. Not a loud transformation, not a dramatic moment, but a quiet realization. I am becoming someone I used to admire. This is what Sun Tzu wanted for every soldier, every commander, every strategist. Not blind strength, but controlled power. Not force, but clarity. Not chaos, but intention. This is discipline turned into instinct. This is instinct turned into identity. This is identity turned into inner power. You are no longer the one who tries to be disciplined. You are the one who is disciplined, forged, honed, steady, focused. A warrior in the modern world. Chapter 5, Winning the Inner War. Sun Tzu's final strategy for unbreakable focus. There comes a moment in every battle when the enemy outside disappears, and the only one left is the enemy within. Sun Tzu knew this better than anyone. He said the greatest victory is not defeating another army, but defeating the chaos inside your own mind. The final stage of building unbreakable focus is not about tactics, routines, or rituals. It's about confronting the deepest battlefield of all, the place where your fears, doubts, weaknesses, and impulses hide. This chapter is about winning that war, the quiet war, the personal one, the one no one sees, the war that every man must face alone, the enemy you cannot outsmart. You can outsmart distractions. You can control your environment. You can build rituals and simplify choices. You can practice stillness. But the hardest enemy to defeat is the part of you that wants comfort, the part that wants escape, the part that whispers the easy path, the part that resists change, even when that change is the key to a better life. Sun Tzu wrote that the most dangerous enemy is the one who knows your weaknesses. Inside you, that enemy knows everything: your fears, your triggers, your excuses, your habits. This enemy evolves with you. It adapts. It waits. It strikes when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. But Sun Tzu also believes something else. Knowing yourself is the beginning of victory. Before you can defeat the inner enemy, you must see it clearly. Seeing yourself without fear. Most people run from self-awareness, not because they don't want to grow, but because they don't want to face what they'll find. The truth about discipline is simple. You cannot fix what you refuse to look at. This is why the journey feels painful at times. The more you try to improve, the more the inner enemy shows up. Thoughts that make you doubt, emotions that push you back into old habits, impulses that distract you at the worst moments, fears that appear when you're close to progress. But Sun Tzu believed that awareness is a weapon. Once you see the enemy, you can predict it. You can counter it. You can outmaneuver it. Self-awareness is the beginning of inner strategy. Sun Tzu's two battles. Sun Tzu taught that every warrior fights two battles: the external battle, the tasks, the goals, the work, the responsibilities; the internal battle, the doubts, the urges, the emotional storms, the hidden fears. You win the external battle through skill. You win the internal battle through understanding. Most people lose because they only train for the first one. They focus on tools, systems, and routines. But when their emotions hit, when their mind fights back, when discomfort rises, they collapse. Not because the goal is hard, because the inner war caught them unprepared. Winning the inner war means mastering your emotional terrain, watching your thoughts without sinking into them, feeling fear without obeying it, recognizing impulse without acting on it. This is the final stage of focus, the ability to stay centered even when the mind tries to pull you away, mastering the inner terrain. Sun Tzu said a general must know the terrain better than the enemy. In your life, the terrain is your mind. You need to know what triggers you, what drains your focus, what strengthens you, what weakens you, what time of day you lose clarity, what habits lead you into distraction, what situations break your rhythm, what emotions blind your judgment. This is not self-criticism, it's reconnaissance. A warrior who understands his terrain does not fear it. He uses it. If you know that stress leads you to procrastinate, your strategy becomes managing stress. If you know fear makes you avoid work, your strategy becomes facing fear in smaller, controlled steps. If you know distractions pull you in during the afternoon, your strategy becomes protecting that time with intention. Awareness is how strategy takes shape, fighting the war moment by moment. You've probably seen warriors in movies look calm and composed. But the truth is, calmness is not the absence of struggle. True calmness is the ability to make the right choice while the storm is raging inside. You don't win the inner war in a single moment. You win it in thousands of small choices. Choosing focus when your mind wants escape. Choosing stillness when your emotions rise. Choosing the task when your comfort calls. Choosing clarity instead of chaos. These are the battles that create unbreakable discipline. Every choice is a sword stroke. Every moment is a duel. Every decision shapes your identity. Over time, the choices that once felt impossible become natural. The habits that once felt heavy become light. The discipline that once felt forced becomes instinct. This is victory. Not dramatic, not loud, but deep and irreversible. The warrior's center. Sun Tzu believed every warrior needed a center. A state of mind they return to no matter what happens. Your center is the foundation of your focus. It's a quiet place inside you that stays steady even when the world shakes. It's the core identity that directs your life when distractions try to pull you off course. You build this center by practicing tactical stillness, emotional control, intentional routines, aligned actions, simplicity, self-honesty, clarity of purpose. The stronger your center becomes, the less the external world can pull you away. This is what creates unshakable focus. Not intensity, not motivation, not pressure. Center. A warrior who has a center cannot be moved. The final victory. Becoming someone you trust. There is a moment near the end of every transformation when something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. Not hope, not wish, not try. Trust. You know that when you say you will do something, you will. You know that when your mind gets loud, you can quiet it. You know that when distractions come, you won't break. You know that when fear appears, you won't run. This is the highest form of discipline. Winning the inner war turns you into someone reliable, someone stable, someone clear, someone focused, someone who no longer negotiates with distractions, someone who no longer argues with their excuses, someone who no longer betrays their goals. This is the warrior mind Sun Tzu wanted every strategist to reach. And now you're reaching it. The warrior who walks forward. When you defeat the enemy within, the external world becomes simple. Not easy, but simple. You know your direction. You know your strategy. You know your weaknesses. You know your strength. You know how to pause, how to act, how to persist, how to focus. You walk through life with purpose. Clear, calm, centered, steady. You no longer rush. You no longer drift. You no longer fight yourself. And because you're no longer at war with your own mind, you finally have the power to build the life you want. Not through force, through clarity, not through intensity, through intention, not through chaos, through strategy. This is unbreakable focus. This is Sun Tzu's final wisdom. This is how you win the inner war. You do not become unstoppable by fighting harder. You become unstoppable by fighting smarter. And by mastering the battlefield inside you. You've walked through the quiet mountains where Bodhidharma trained the mind. You've studied Musashi's way of discipline, where every action sharpens the blade. You've stepped into Sun Tzu's battlefield and learned that the real enemy is the chaos inside you. Now ask yourself one question. Who will you become after this? Strength isn't built in a single moment. It's built in every small choice you make. Every time you stay calm when your mind wants to panic. Every time you keep going when comfort whispers stop. Every time you choose focus over noise. If the world feels loud, return to these lessons. If you feel distracted, go back to the breath. If life throws you into conflict, remember the quiet confidence of those who came before you. Your mind is a weapon. Your focus is a shield. Your discipline is the path. If you're ready to keep walking it, subscribe, like, and tell me what lesson hit you the hardest. And remember, the world bows to the person who can master themselves.